Jalsa bhai. Good morning, all of you. Okay. So, what was the last topic we have covered in your notebook? If you can just check it. Redistribution function. Rishabh, no. Namaskar. Okay. So, let me just quickly revise whatever we have completed in the previous lecture, friends, and then take it ahead from there. If you recollect, we were on chapter number 2, public finance. We were understanding unit number 1. Unit number 1, the name of the unit is nothing but fiscal functions. Am I right? Fiscal functions. And in fiscal functions, friends, we understood the role of government in an economic system. Do you remember the Great Depression? Do you remember Adam Smith? Right? Do you remember the entire story? Right? And after that, we understood what? We understood different types of functions, in which first one was allocation function, second one is redistribution function, and the third one is stabilization function, right? So first one we understood, that was nothing but allocation function. That means everything has its place and everything must be in its place, isn't it? Right? And if there is misallocation of resources, it will result into market failure, isn't it? And there were 6 reasons for market failure. Do you recollect that 6 reasons? First one was market power. Next one is externalities. Then we had public goods, incomplete information, factor immobility, and inequality. And how would government try to reduce the level of, no, not reduce the level of inequality, but how will government try to allocate the functions or the resources in the appropriate manner? So how will government do that? Incentives and disincentives will provide, government will only provide the entire economic goods, right? Some policies will be made and legal and administrative framework. Am I right, Logeshwaran? Correct? So these were the topics that we have understood. After that, we understood redistribution function. Please try to remember what was redistribution function. It is nothing but bringing equality in the country. Okay, Mahesh, yeah, we were saying redistribution function is Robin Hood function, we used to say. Correct. So now redistribution function is like taking from the rich and giving it to the poor. So who is the modern day Robin Hood today in our country? Who said Narendra Modi? Hey, come on, it is government. Okay. So government of India is nothing but Salmon boy. Correct. He is the one who takes it from the rich and gives it to ultra rich. Okay. Just hold on. Sorry, guys. Yes, Mahesh, that's true. Right. So redistribution function, what were the points that we understood in that? First one was government's goals and objectives as far as redistribution function is concerned. And the last part was how is government going to use the tools, right? Comfortable with all the points that we have spoken about? Did you get an opportunity to just go through these points? Now requesting all of you, come on quickly, please switch on your cameras. Yeah, please keep it on so that we can interact well. Okay. Mahesh, we are still expecting few more to join in, isn't it? Kavya, is it right? Shri Prasanna? No. And the data every day, if it is a 6:30 lecture, then it will be different. 11:30 lecture, it is different. Okay, Mahesh. Yeah, Someshwar, I agree. I should lock the meeting now, actually. Because then it is injustice to people like you all who come on time. Many people come like a garden only. Okay. Yeah, how are you, Charan? Arey, Nelson, how come you are here? Very good. Good to see you, but great. Yeah, Jay. Okay. So let's begin. I am going to share a screen with you. If it is visible to you, just let me know, friends, please. Mm, see. So this is what we were understanding. These are our yesterday's notes. Understood redistribution function. Okay. Now let's take it ahead from redistribution function. A screen must be visible now to you. Thank you. The next heading you should be giving in your notebook, friends. That is stabilization function. See, friends, we all are Indian. We 100% know one thing very right. The only thing which is stable in our country is instability. Correct? The only thing that is certain is uncertainty. The only thing that is constant is change. Right? So you never know. There is one popular Hindi song, if you have heard it. हर घड़ी बदल रही है रूप जिंदगी. That is exactly pointing out towards our economy only. Because you never know how economy will react. And it is exclusivity, okay? Only Indian government and Indian economy can do that. Super performance. And I told you, we are extremists. Either we are the toppers or we are the backbenchers completely. Okay, in both the cases, of course, we will be successful only. Right? In both the cases, we will be the champions. Legends, correct, Kushal. That's a better word. So when I talk about this type of instability in the economy, see, there are different types of economic cycle. I must have definitely told you at the time of monetary policy. Am I right? When we were understanding analytics of monetary policy, do you remember I showed you different types of business cycle? Yeah, 6 different types. Correct, Mahesh? Absolutely. And then I asked you, which one would you select? So you had selected this one, the one which is with growth and stability, correct? Because if you observe, friends, ultimately we have to attain the level of growth. That is what is important for us. But friends, will it happen automatically, or government will have to take sincere efforts for doing this? sincere efforts have to be taken by government in order to bring equality in the country. Similarly, very sincere efforts have to be taken by the government in order to stabilize the economy. So right now, the level of instability that we might be having in the country, we need to stabilize that. We need to program it, channelize it in such a manner that it doesn't show too much of fluctuations, too much of high or too much of low. Am I right? Exactly. So now, friends, when I talk about stabilization function, how will government bring stability in the economy? How is stabilization function used? That we need to understand. So government uses a policy for bringing stability in the economy. And the name of that policy, my dear friends, it is called as macroeconomic policy. What is the name? What's the name? What's the name? Macroeconomic policy. Correct. So now when we talk about, yes, Rishabh, I was expecting this from you, okay? So when we talk about stabilization function, government will adopt macroeconomic policy. There are two types of macroeconomic policies in India which is made. Which are they? So first one we shall have, that is called as fiscal policy. First one will be fiscal policy. And second one will be monetary policy. Yes, Lakshay. Fiscal policy and monetary policy. Now, students, are you aware who makes a fiscal policy in the country? It is made by government, isn't it? So it is made by government. The person responsible for making fiscal policy is finance minister. And fiscal policy basically highlights taxes and expenditure of the government, isn't it? Do you agree to these 3 points which I have written in the red? Fantastic. Similarly, 3 points here in monetary policy. Now in macroeconomic policy, second part, that is monetary policy, please write down. It is made by whom? So it is made by RBI. In RBI, who is the person responsible? So that person responsible is governor of RBI. And in governor, what do they decide? So basically they decide the level of interest rate in the economy. Right? Interest rate in the economy is decided by them. Now, friends, when we are talking about fiscal policy, there are two aspects to fiscal policy. Please understand. And two aspects to monetary policy also. Fiscal policy can be expansionary. So we will write here expansionary fiscal policy. The other one would be contractionary. So it is contractionary fiscal policy. Similarly, in monetary policy, we shall be having expansionary monetary policy. and contractionary monetary policy. Expansionary monetary policy and contractionary monetary policy. Now, friends, when I talk about expansionary and contractionary monetary policy, what exactly do we mean by that? So, expansionary fiscal policy means government will reduce the level of taxes and increase the level of expenditure. So whenever government reduces the level of taxes and increases the level of expenditure, we will call it as expansionary fiscal policy. Understood? Next. Whenever government increases the level of taxes and reduces the level of expenditure, it is called as contractionary fiscal policy. Okay, before going ahead, just a quick question. Is my voice properly audible or is there any disturbance around? नहीं वो welding का आवाज आ रहा है. There is some construction work, work which is going on. So that is not disturbing you, right? Fine, no? Or else I will make some arrangement. That's why. It is tolerable. Yeah, we are constructing a new house here near my farmhouse. I'll surely show it to you. Yeah, it's more like a penthouse, Now, better than what it was. Okay, perfect. Very Khushi, I was just saying hi to your brother. He left. Construct under my name, otherwise you will have to compulsory take it. Yeah, Ronak. So we will name it as Ronak Nivas. Okay. So let's go ahead, friends. Now, when I'm talking about expansionary monetary policy and contractionary monetary policy, here we will try to play with the interest rate. But before going there, let us just quickly have a look at the current budget or the current fiscal policy. Changes made in budget 2021. Okay. Now, friends, you will see some changes in budget. They have said about the taxation. Just have a look at this, okay? We'll discuss just randomly 2-3 points so as to understand whether government went for expansionary or contractionary policy. Sounds okay? So have a look at this. Budget 2021 aims to ease compliance burden on senior citizens aged 75 years and above. Now they are going to exempt the senior citizens, that is 75 years and above. That means tax liability has been reduced. Okay. The time limit of reopening of assessment is reduced to 3 years. Originally, it was 6 years open assessment of undisclosed income. Okay, this is not related to tax, I think. See this. Union budget has proposed to allow tax exemption for maturity proceeds of ULIPs having annual premium up to 2.5 lakhs. So under ULIMs also they have given some kind of tax exemption. Yes or no? So if you observe friends, there are some changes in the taxes. Now let's have a look at the expenditure. Public expenditure. Public expenditure. Let's see if I will get the proper thing that we are searching for here. Okay, the budget focused on this six parameters. Now just have a look at this, friends. Just have a look at this. Substantial increase in investment, that is expenditure in health infrastructure. Okay, and the amount is given. And how much percentage of increase in expenditure do you see this? It is 137 percentage increase in our government expenditure. Now look at this part, no? PM Atmanirbhar Swasth Bharat Yojana. Do you see this? That's the Yojana which is started, the scheme. Yojana means the scheme under which they are going to establish all these things. That is, all these changes are to be given, which will increase the level of expenditure again. Now, friends, provision of 35,000 rupees crores made for COVID-19 vaccine. Now, COVID-19 vaccine, if you observe, it was never there in the market. So this is a new expenditure which is incurred by the government, which we call it as 35,000 crore rupees expenditure. And after that, we have also got universal coverage of water supply and Swachh Bharat mission. On that also, government is going to spend around 1.5 lakh crore rupees over the period of 5 years. Then government is spending on textiles, infrastructure, asset monetization, road development, railway infrastructure. Railway is important part of our economy. Let's see if they have increased the expenditure on railway also. So budget also provided a record sum of 1,10,555 crore rupees for railways, out of which 1,07,100 crore rupees is capital expenditure, which is a new expenditure in the market in order to increase the level of railways in our country. Friends, while looking at all these things, I'll surely need a check that also for sports, has government made any? Yeah, government is talking about sports stadiums to be made in asset monetization, right? So friends, tell me one thing. What kind of policy has government made if you observe here? Expansionary, isn't it? And why is that so? In our last year, we were highly growing or our growth was falling, falling, right? There was downfall in the growth. You all are aware about it. That means this policy will be adopted when, this will be adopted when our economy is not doing that great. So this is at the time of recession. I hope you understood. Sure. At the same time, friends, contractionary fiscal policy will be made when? So it will be made at the time of recovery or inflation. Do you agree to this? So whenever there is inflation in the economy, we will be going for contractionary fiscal policy. Huh. Next one, expansionary monetary policy. What will RBI do in case of expansionary monetary policy? Will reduce the level of interest rate. And in case of contractionary monetary policy, RBI increases the level of interest rate, which means whenever the interest rate falls in the economy, it is because of expansionary monetary policy. And whenever the interest rate rises, because RBI is adopting contractionary monetary policy. Sounds good to all of you? Right? We are going to have a look at the practical exposure also, whether what did our RBI do? Okay. So whatever we are understanding, you understand, please, it is not theoretical. It is what actually government or RBI is doing in the country in order to stabilize our economy. Right? Don't think like a student. That will be the grave mistake that we will be doing. Don't think that you are a student and you are understanding. Play as if this is a conference. Okay. This is a board meeting or a government meeting or an RBI meeting. And then what we have to do, whether are we doing that, are we on the right track or no? Think in that domain, think in that direction. Only then we will be understanding everything conceptually. If we try to be a student and try to mug up, it is not going to work. That doesn't work. We are not in 11, 12 standard, right? Right. So today someone else is doing it for us. Tomorrow it will be you who will be doing it for others. Right? You never know, right? If you become a, when you become a chartered accountant, and let's suppose the business policies that you are running are very much important, very much crucial, then Prime Minister of our country, whoever is there at that time, might call you for advice on the budget. Don't you think these big enterprises like Ambani, Adani, Tatas, Birlas, they will not be consulted before making the budget? They will not be consulted. Whenever RBI is trying to make any changes in the interest rate, any changes in the CRR, any changes in the SLR, don't you think they will be consulting Ratan Tata before doing that? Don't you think they will be consulting Narayan Murthy before doing that, Azim Premji before doing that, Mukesh Ambani for that matter, Gautam Adani? So all these, though they are capitalist, but they are creating employment in the country. So they will take guarantee from these capitalists that, if we are bringing this particular change in this sector, in IT sector, in infrastructure. So when government is trying to bring any change into infrastructure, it will call L&T. Larsen and Toubro director will be sitting and they will ask, okay, tell me now, if I try to do this expenditure on infrastructure, what is the guarantee of employment that you are providing it to me? Which is the rural area which you will try to uplift? Are you understanding this? So everything is on pen and paper. Everything is written. And if they are not doing as promised, government will cut off the ties. And next time other company will be getting the opportunity, not this one. I hope you are understanding what I'm trying to say. So be it on the capitalist side or be it on the socialist side, understanding these policies practically are very important. And this can happen only today. Because after this, till you reach CA final, after even you complete that, no one is going to teach you this. Okay. So when we are talking about fiscal policy, we understood, yes, government has made. I could have pulled, see, we also have time limitation, or else I could have taken an older budget when we were having inflation. That take it as a homework.
Take some old budget, 2012, when we were having inflation rate of more than 10%. At that time, what was the government strategy? What did P. Chidambaram do at that time? Who is he? He was the finance minister at that time. Okay. Or else you will be wondering, who is this Chidambaram uncle? Okay. When our government was crumbling, government was feeling pain, government was not able to survive, we were not having money, what did Manmohan Singh do? He was the finance minister in 1990-91. What he did, you need to check out that. So whatever we are just understanding, don't just read and complete. Okay, I have completed the syllabus. No, that is not how it should work. Right? I hope that makes sense to all of you here. Come on. Yes, no? Yes, sounds okay to all of you? All right, fantastic. Okay. Aparna, did I scare you? No, no. Okay, okay. Thank God you're smiling. All right. I saw so many serious faces. You're like, Chirag has gone crazy today. Okay. 2 shots extra he has taken of coffee, it seems. No, no, nothing like that. So let's talk about the interest rate recently. Interest rate on home loan. Let's talk about the trend. Both, Akshita. We will talk about both. We'll go to this website. I think they should help. Do you see this, guys? Get home loan starting at 6.65% per annum. Isn't it? Home loan, right? This is loan rate. And here we have, eh? Here we have this. Compare current home loan interest rate of all banks. Kotak Mahindra, it is 6.65. Punjab and Sindh Bank, it is again 6.65. Then SBI, it is 6.75. I'm scared of actually, I think Punjab National Bank and State Bank of India are the best banks to take loans from. Bigger the loan, you need not repay, right? You have to just take that loan, go to London, sit and watch cricket matches there. Okay. Yeah, Lakshay, that's true. Do you get, loans from, sorry, do you get the call from these banks? So do you need loan? Do you need loan? Some of you, yes. Some of you say no. Many a times, okay. They get our numbers randomly from somewhere and then they call everyone. So do you want loan? Do you want? Even I used to, get many calls. Block kar diya un sabne. Mahesh is saying they have, he has blocked everyone. In my case, it is vice versa. They have blocked me. Why? I'll tell you. And I'm not joking. I'm very serious. Earlier I used to get many calls. They would call me and they would say, "Sir, do you need loan?" I would politely refuse. I would say, "No, no, I don't need it. Sir, home loan, sir, personal loan, sir, business loan, sir, any loan you want." I said, "No, no, thank you so much, ma'am. I don't want." Then again, next day, some other fellow will call. I would say, "No, sir, I don't really need the loan." Then again, every day I used to get these calls. It gets irritating, no, at times. Then I changed the strategy. Then I said, whenever they used to call, every time I used to tell them, "Yes, I need loan." They said, "Oh, great, sir, we can help you with the loan, no problem." Right? So how much loan do you need? I said 13,500 crore rupees only. I said, what? I said, yeah, 13,500 crore rupees only. They said, "Sir, what would you do with that loan?" I said, "Simple, I will take it from you and run away from India. I will be in London, you will be in jail. Come on now, give it to me." They would disconnect the call. I would call them again till the time they don't block me. So, Mahesh, now you know, right, what to do next. Is it true? 100% true. I can tell, if I get any kind of spam call, no, I will put it on the speaker and talk to you. But unfortunately, they don't call me now. Debit card is good, Ronak. Credit of any type is bad. This is what our parents have told us since childhood, no? Credit is anytime. Lockdown, I used to enjoy their calls. So Jay, you know now what to do, right? Now e-rupee is coming. Yeah, let's see now what changes can be brought. So if you observe, friends, the home loan interest rates have come down around 6.5, 6.85. This is what they say all these, all these things are there, like home loan is there. Now if I want to take some other loan, I will put it in, what is this nonsense? Get lost. Business loan, if I say business loan. What is a business loan? Arey Baba, we know what is business loan. Tell us the interest rate. No, look at the interest rate. See, we are living in a country where if you want to do business, you will have to pay a 15% to 22% interest rate. But similarly, if you are a employee and if you want to buy a house, you can just pay 6.5%. Chalo, no problem. Jai Hind. And then government is saying we are making easy for business houses. And not only that, look at this education loan. Look at this education loan. Which degree we want to pursue? What is this nonsense? Oh, no, no. Engineering will only give you unemployment. Acha, we will contact you. Leave this. This is not interesting. Interest loan on education. See, if you see the education loan which is given here, 9.3%, 17, sorry, 13%, 6.75. So moral of the story, these are the interest rate which range anywhere between 6 to 10% on loans. Sounds okay to all of you? Okay, now let's talk about one more thing. Interest rate on home loan in 2012. Like I'm taking you 10 years back possibly. If I'm not sure if I'll be able to get that, but still we'll try. Open file. Oh my God, dangerous. So I have that in front of me now. Okay. So the interest rate which were there in the past, you won't be able to see that because I'm not able to share that information. So, but we have this. Have a look at it. 2012. Do you see this? 10%, 10.2%. Is this visible now? Right? Do you understand the change? Now it is 6.5%. Earlier it was 10%. Now coming back to our topic, see this now. Understand this carefully. Right now interest rate is low. Earlier interest rate was high. Because why? At that time we were on the recovery mode. Today we are on the recession mode. Make sense? 100%, right? That completes our stabilization function. Okay. So just write down whatever you have understood in your own words. Recession recovery, how did it work? I'll wait here for 1 minute. and then we carry on. Okay, just write it in your own words. Sai Pranit, that's a very good question. Uh, what is the question? I will tell you. Is this only on credit or this happens on deposits also? Well, take it as homework, right? The way I have evaluated both the things now, the interest rate as well as the taxes and expenditure, I want you to evaluate the deposit rates also. Well, you know it, right? Today we are experiencing this thing, let's suppose recession, or we are having a slow growth in the economy today. Look at the deposit rates today. It has fallen drastically. It has come down to 5%, right? So let's take one small example. Ashreya is having 1 crore rupees. Okay. So Ashreya can deposit that in the bank. Out of that 1 crore rupees, she will be earning only 5 lakh rupees as interest rate. And that too, after, after that, it will be TDS which will be deducted. And then she will have income tax liability. So maybe she will have in hand somewhere around 3.5 to 4 lakh rupees. What would Ashreya say? Instead of depositing in the bank for 4 lakh rupees, I will invest in property. Sounds okay to all of you? So if she purchases land, or if she is purchasing flat or house, at that time demand increases. That is what we want at the time of recession, isn't it? See, this is how RBI plays. So even deposit rates will be in the same manner, like the credit rates. Yes, Jay, we can do that. It influences expectation. Yes, Shri Prasanna, you're right. Yes, Sai. So I hope that makes sense to all of you. Amazing topic I think we have covered today. Thank God we did not complete this yesterday. We could go much more in detail today. All right, now sounds good. Let's go ahead. Give the heading in your notebook, friends. It is the next topic that we are going to understand. It is called as unit number 2. Let me open another page for you. Yeah, we'll continue unit 2 here. Name of the unit, students, unit number 2. It is market failure. Prabhu, they don't have any choice left. Does bank decide the range? Someshwar, bank doesn't decide the range. Actually, it is based on the base rate, which we call it as bank rate or offer rate. So the rate at which RBI lends to commercial bank. So commercial bank will take that as the base rate. And after that, whatever it is, +2, +3% they will do, and they will supply it in the market. But these are all floating interest rate. Okay, now do you understand the charm of these adjustments? These are all floating interest rate, mind well. Floating interest rate means what? It will not remain constant. So right now, if let's suppose you have taken the loan at 6% per annum, but after a year or so, if let's suppose there is inflation in the economy, RBI will increase the interest rate. Automatically, your interest rate liability will increase from 6% to 9%. Are you getting this? So you don't even realize, but whenever there is increase in money supply, RBI does the task, takes the money from you without you coming to know about it. Now at that time you would say, hey, what is this? They will show you just an agreement. See, you know, your signature here. Okay. We have written all the terms and conditions in the size which even ants can't read. Okay. You will need a microscope. At that time, you have signed clearly. I agree to all the terms and conditions. Your sign only. Now pay 9%. Or else vacate the house. Now people are left with no option, right? But just to repay. Interest rate decrease, then they will not deposit the. Yes, they will get money supply. Let's go ahead, friends. Market failure. Now, what are the things in market failure that we are going to understand? This unit we are going to divide into 4 parts. I call these 4 parts as MAPI. What is MAPI? Please write down. First one, market power. Second one is externalities. Then we have public goods. And we will have incomplete information. Do you remember the meaning of market failure? Inefficiency in allocation of resources will result into market failure. So there are 4 reasons of market failure. Which are they? Reasons are there in front of you. First one is market power, next one is externality, third one is public goods, and last one will be incomplete information. Yes, Jay, correct. So the one which I had mentioned in the previous lecture, that we will be understanding all these things in detail. The time has come. First of all, it is meaning. So what is market power? No, not market power, but what is market failure? Inefficiency in allocation of resources will result in market failure. Correct, Jay. See, if there is equilibrium in the market, buyers are getting the products at desired price. Sellers are selling the product at desired price. Then do you think there is any problem? No problem at all. When is the problem? When there is exploitation. When the sellers charge a higher price, when the buyers are not willing to pay the price, when there is overproduction or where there is underproduction. Do you agree to this part? See, if Mahesh is, let's suppose, selling a particular product, Mahesh is selling a particular product, and if let's say he has produced some commodity in surplus, he will be making losses. Yes or no? Because of overproduction. But same Mahesh, if let's suppose has produced the quantity or the commodity which people need more, but he is not supplying more, he will sell the same product at a very high price. Underproduction will result into overpricing. Overproduction will result into underpricing. Sounds good to all of you? What says Samit? Yeah. So neither the overpricing, underpricing is good, nor the underproduction or overproduction is good. Both the cases, it is market failure. Accepted? So we'll just write a note about it. If there is overproduction or underproduction, comma, overpricing or underpricing, then it is market failure. Then it is market failure. Next point, students. Market failure can be of two types. Market failure can be of two types. Which are they? First one is demand side market failure. Second one is supply side market failure. Demand side market failure and supply side market failure. Now, what are these two things? Ready? Let me help you with one example first. Students, wherever you stay, on that in that area, do you want government to increase the beautification or no? In some area, there should be fountains, there should be trees which should be planted properly. All this you want it, yes or no? You want it, right? Fair enough. All of you, your names are now registered by government. I am sending it to government friends with a request that we need this kind of facility, and of course we can demand that, no problem. Okay, the government responds, no problem, we will be more than happy to give all these services to our citizens. It's just that we will be debiting your account every month by 1500 rupees. 1500 rupee will be debited from your account, students, every month for all from all the family members, because all the family members will be looking at the fountains, looking at the trees, no? So just pay 1500 rupees per person and you will get the fountains, musical fountains. When you go out, there will be, nice music which will be. Then what is your answer now? Still you want this? No, no, sir, it's beautiful. It's Ah, what beauty road. Wow. Nazar na lage. We should put a kala tikka on that. Nice road. Don't do anything. Even if someone comes, you will say, hey, don't do any plantation here. Get lost. This looks nice. Why did the emotion suddenly change? Because you were asked money for that. That means you demand the commodity, but you don't want to pay for it. This is demand side market failure. Understood? When people demand a commodity, but they don't wish to pay for it, demand side market failure. You go to a restaurant to have idli sambar, okay, or dosa or whatever is your favorite. At that time, you ask that waiter, get me some extra chutney and sambar. He said, okay, no problem. Chutney will be 10 rupees extra, sambar will be 20 rupees extra. You will say, hey, wait, not needed. Thank you. Thank you. Are you understanding? You want to demand, but you are not willing to pay for it. Do you go and buy vegetables? Yeah. So when you buy vegetables, at that time, you buy tomatoes, onions, potatoes, cauliflower, ladyfinger, I mean okra, you know, then many other things. And towards the end, you say, give me that curry patta, no, curry leaves. Do you pay for that curry leaves? Ah, see, if they start charging 5 rupees for the curry leaves, you would say, hey, bhaiya, what you are doing? Who gives curry patta dhania? This is free, okay. I hope you are very clear in this. 100%. Don't write this curry leaves example, okay, in the exam. Or else you will write down, when I go and buy vegetables at that time, I get curry leaves for free. If they are willing to take the price from me, I will not be interested in giving. I am demanding but not paying the price. You can't write this, Baba. Huh? You go to have pani puri, right? After having entire plate of pani puri, do you demand sukha puri? That extra puri? You do? Demand side market failure, all of you. Understood, no? 100%. I told you it is so simple. So please write down the meaning, okay, so that we don't forget. When people demand a particular good or service, but they don't want to pay for it, it is demand side market failure. Done? Next one. Jay, correct. Now Jay has said this beautiful example, okay, and the entire credit of this goes to Jay. Okay. When you write that Pani Puri, Sukha Puri example in the examination, so at that time that will be demand side market failure. Yes or no? So the examiner would reply, I want to supply marks, but I can't. That is supply side market failure. right? So, but let's take one example, okay? Now, what is supply side market failure? When you are supplying a product, but you do not consider the 100% valuation of the product, you don't take into consideration the entire cost of the product while supplying the product, it will be called as supply side market failure. Let me help you with some example here. Now, let's suppose if I am a cigarette manufacturer, I am not, but just saying, okay? If I am a cigarette manufacturer, at that time, let's suppose I make one cigarette and at 10 rupees and I sell it at 15 rupees. Okay. So that 5 rupees is I am keeping for my profit. Friends, tell me one thing. Did I consider the entire cost of production while while fixing the price, which I have incurred? Which I have incurred? Yes. I considered my cost of production 10 rupees. I've added that, added some price to it, markup price, and I have sold it 15. Now tell me one thing. When the consumers are consuming cigarette, there will be an additional cost. Sir, what is additional cost here? Their health will be affected. Environment will get degraded. There will be more pollution. Non-smokers will be affected due to passive smoking, right? Externalities, correct, my friend. So all these external effects will be created in the market. Did we consider all those effects? Did we compensate that effects in the price of the product? No, we have not. So don't you think, students, we are not taking the entire cost into the price of the product? So we are supplying the product, but we are not creating, or we are not considering rather the negative effect that it is creating in the market. So when you don't consider that, it will be called as supply side market failure. Understood? Supply side market failure. When you supply the product, but you are not taking the entire cost that you incur for that product, which is also borne by the society, into consideration, then that will be supply side market failure. Hmm? Yes, once that's true. Okay. So we'll write a small, you know, definition of supply side market failure also. When seller sells a product but do not consider the entire cost in price, it is supply side market failure. Done, friends? Now, once you have understood the market failure concept thoroughly, now you are ready to understand these 4 points. Reasons for market failure. Number one is market power. externalities. Public goods and incomplete information. Done? Now, one by one, we are going to understand these points, friends. Thank you, Neeraj. Done? So even the bus fare we pay only considered as, yeah, of course, Someshwar. See, any kind of expenditure that we are doing, if it is not taking into consideration the cost which has to be borne by the society. Now, see, I told you the example of externality in the last lecture about that AC, right? You said in Chennai it is very hot, it is not raining. So we took example of AC. At that time, did JK Shah classes consider the cost of your AC into the fees that you are going to destroy this much environment? Let's add that to the fees. No, right? While fixing the fees, it might not even be taken into consideration. Like people will not be aware about it. There is something which you don't know, you don't know. This is one category. This might come as a surprise for people. You need to consider this also, no? And Vansh has highlighted it very rightly. But sir, how it is practically possible to add such cost? He's absolutely right. How to consider, Now, if let's suppose if person is smoking, and if we are the passive smokers, can we go and tell, hey, what, yeah, because of me, you, my lungs worth 10 rupees are getting affected. If there is an alcoholic or there is a drunkard, because of which our peace of mind gets disturbed, can you say, hey, yeah, because of you, my 22 rupees worth of peace of mind gets disturbed? Can we say like that? No, it will be practically difficult, but still we will calculate. Why? So that we can charge taxes. Because if we don't calculate, people will take us for granted. Sir, how is it possible? Now, still people would say, sir, how is it possible? How is it possible? See, understand, my friends. There is one girl, there is one boy. Girl asks to the boy, how much you love me, baby? The boy replies, this much. Can you define this much for me, please? Can you define this much? How much? 1.5 meter? 3.5 feet? How much? This much means what? 45 kgs? 10 kilometers? How much? To the moon and back. Oh, how cute. Right? So if this Nibba Nibbis can do this, why can't economists calculate? And you tell me, when you order something from Mintra, when you order something from Zomato, when you take an Uber ride, and when they give you that, rated between 1 to 5, you don't do 4.5, you don't do 4, you don't do 3, you don't do 5. Which machine you use? Tell me. Emotional machine. Same emotional machine is used here to determine the external cost. Hey, are you getting this, guys? Yeah. You have to, these things actually make big sense. but unrecorded. This only while fixing the taxes, we need to consider all these aspects. Okay, so let's start. First point that we are going to understand, friends, please give the heading market power. Market power. Hmm. Okay. In case of market power, heart transplant surgery in India. No, no, this time different. I'm replacing my heart. Ronak is asking buying shoes, sir. No. Heart transplant surgery data. Now, what I am trying to show you, the data possibly of heart transplant surgery in India. Heart transplant surgery in India. I've got it in the other screen. I will try to show you the link there. Heart transplant surgery or in India, they have written. Now look at this, Vidya. This is a very important figure, very important from national perspective. If you observe, on the y-axis, the numbers are given, and on the right side, like on the x-axis, you will find the donors and transplants. Do you see that? Red is the transplant and blue is the donors. Isn't it surprising that in India, donors are more than the surgeries done? And why is it so less number of transactions or less number of surgeries done in the country? Costly. Wow, you're amazing. Sometimes I get surprised by your answers. You are direct to the point. It is very costly. People don't afford it. And why it is costly? Correct, Sai. Why it is costly? Yes, Sai. Correct. Complex surgery. Okay. See, I will donor gets accidents. Okay. Because friends, the doctors who know this are very rare. You can count them on your fingertips. And why they are not teaching to everyone? Because this small community of doctors have created their own monopoly. If they teach the same surgery to everyone, just like what other surgery, that valve they call it something, I don't know, bypass surgery. See, I got it. Bypass surgery. Now every Tom, Dick, and Harry can do it. I mean, the doctors who are trained professionally, they can do it. Am I right? This surgery can also be learned by these doctors. Yes or no? But still, if they teach it to everyone, then the price will come down. Right now, it starts at 60 to 70 lakh rupees. Okay. Not like in the movies I have told you, I think earlier. Okay, South Indian movies, sometimes they show, one movie I saw a YouTube clip. What heart surgery? Oh my God. He was taking that heart in his hand, threw it. It directly went in the operation theater, and then suddenly lightning came. Rudaya Kalayam. That's the name of the movie, I think. Thank you for sharing this. Telugu movie it is. Sampurnesh Babu is the actor. Sampurnesh Babu. Acha, it is actually a spoof. I was not aware about it. So I am a big Sampurnesh Babu fan. Okay, I would not entertain anything against him. Okay, how come donors are more? They are they are the people who have registered. Hmm. Correct. Okay, Shri. So until unless we attain that efficiency, right now you see our heart transplant surgery is very low, and that is due to market power or monopoly. Now, what is the problem of monopoly or market power? Huh. What is the problem with monopoly or market power? I will tell you that also. The monopolist will try to increase the price and will try to provide a very less quantity in the market. This will result into inefficiency in the resource allocation, and ultimately it will result into market failure. Right example you can write is of doctors, and there are many other companies who try to do that. Charan, that's a wonderful example. Artificial scarcity is also one of the problems which may be created. Okay, just copy down and write the example. I'll be back, just taking a glass of water. Yes, Fatima. Write down point number 2. Externalities. When production or consumption of one person affects others, it is called as externalities. Yes, Ronak. Okay, done. So when my production or consumption is, let's say, affecting you, my production or consumption is affecting you, then what it will be? It will be externality. It is side effect. I'm not trying to do that purposely, but indirectly it is done. Right? Like Sejal is saying, chemical factories will create water pollution. Absolutely. So that is nothing but an externality, side effect. We don't create pollution. That is not our main purpose. Okay, but it happens. But externalities, friends, you need to remember one thing. It can be unidirectional as well as it can be reciprocal. Okay. Now, what is unidirectional? Half girlfriend type. Okay, one person loves you, but another person doesn't. Unidirectional. Okay, I love you, Babu. Babu loves you back. Okay, so this is reciprocal. Then today in the market, there are someone who are having multiple Babus. That is not covered in economics. Economics is not so advanced. Okay, so it is unidirectional and reciprocal. Now, what is unidirectional? Let's take one example. Okay, now once is having a factory. Okay, and that is a some iron manufacturing firm. They create some molds, and he is having around 50-60 employees who every day have to hit the iron ore and get it through. So in the lane where he is having factory, there is too much of noise because they keep on doing tack 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 every time. Welding will be going on. All these noises keep on happening. Just opposite to this particular organization of Vanch Enterprises, okay, it is Summit's office, in which there are 100 employees who are working. Now let's suppose it's a proper office. Okay, they work on computer the entire day, corporate office kind of thing. So Summit's employees many a times gets disturbed because of Vanch, yes or no? Ah, okay. Tuck, tuck. Just 1 second, please. Now this is fine. No problem, Nikhil. Yeah. Okay. So once your employees are now disturbing Summit's employee, are they doing it purposely? It is just a side effect. Yes or no? It is externality. Unidirectional externality, right? Unidirectional, one-sided. But after that, what happens, Summit employees, they have some of them, not all, have habit of smoking cigarette. Okay. And outside one's factory, there is one tea stall. So this 60, 70 employees who are smokers, in every hour they go there. Okay, and they smoke. And whenever they smoke, the smoke goes into the Vanch factory. Because of this, his workers have to do passive smoking. Are you understanding this? So even Samit is creating externality for Vanch, yes or no? Reciprocal externality. Understood this? Please write down. Externalities can be unidirectional or reciprocal. Can be unidirectional or reciprocal. Yes, Jay. So many a times, even individual level, if the firms are getting affected, it is due to the cigarette manufacturers, isn't it? And we have to consider the entire steel manufacturing or iron manufacturing industry who are affecting someone in the economy. Shri, I'm not able to find it. Okay. You know, the reason why we ask all of you to switch on your cameras always, there are some people who enter. Now, there was some person entered by the name Mia Khalifa, right? I got so excited. Okay, we have international stars stick, listening to my lectures. But then someone said it was fake. It hurts. Come on. So, anyways, I'm going to lock the meeting just in case if you have any of your friends who is waiting outside and wants to enter, let me know accordingly. Okay, they will message you. Don't worry. I'm going to stop it because I don't want any unnecessary disturbance in the class. You know the level of lectures we have, right? We go very intense, and suddenly in between, if there is one, Mia Khalifa, Burj Khalifa, or whichever, then it creates a lot of disturbance. Okay, so let that few things let be in incognito mode only. All right. Okay. If any of your friends is there outside the meeting room, please do let me know. I will only then admit. Okay. And if I find any person with different name, so if any international star comes in, please most welcome, no problem. But you have to show your face. Okay. So everyone is welcome. Okay. But show it. Externalities can be unidirectional or reciprocal. Now, friends, externalities are also called by different names. So please write down. Externalities are also called as side effects, neighborhood effects, third party effect, or spillover effect. These are the different names which are used for externalities. Yes, sure, Asha, why not? Now, friends, entering into a very important part, which is called as types of externalities. Probably the last topic for the day. Types of externalities. Do you have any other lecture after this? No. Okay. Yeah, Someshwar, I know. This is a vast topic, large topic. That's why. Now, when I am talking about types of externalities, friends, there are four types of externalities that we are going to talk about. Number one is negative production externalities. Number two, leave some 5, 6 lines, okay? Positive production externalities. Negative consumption externality. Positive consumption externalities. Now, let's discuss these four types of externality, friends. First one is negative production externality. Now, what do you mean by negative production externality, friends? Because of my production, if you have to face a negative effect, my production creates a negative impact on you. That will be called as negative production externality. My production helps you in a positive way, then it will be called as positive production externality. If I am consuming a product which is reducing your efficiency, that is reducing your productivity, then that will be negative consumption externality. If because of my consumption, let's suppose you are affected positively in the country, positive consumption externality. Yes or no? So negative production, positive production, negative consumption, and positive consumption externality. Comfortable till here? Sure. Let us take few examples so that this becomes concrete in our mind. First of all, negative production externality. I have a steel plant in which we are producing steel utensils. But it is quite obvious, whenever we produce steel, there will be some kind of what say air pollution in the market. There is some water waste also which is created. What we do, the nearest river to our industry, it is called as Ulhas River, which is in Mumbai. So we take that output and we dump it in the river, right? Now, what happened because of that? There were many fishermen earlier who used to come to that river and do the fishing. But now, because we go on dumping our output there, our chemical waste there in the river, the fishes may be relocated or dead. There is no marine life in that zone now. The businessmen, the fishermen who are who are into fishing business, now they have lost their entire business because of us. Was that the main purpose of my company? No, but this is an externality. Because of my production, can I say their business is negatively affected? It is called as negative production externality. Okay. But don't be too judgmental. What was I was saying? It was a hypothetical example. Okay. Don't start criticizing. Okay. This was just hypothetical example, which I am saying I have a factory. No, I don't have any factory. Okay. Can Bhopal gas tragedy? Yes, Jay, we can consider that. So any kind of ill effect on the production can be part of negative production externality. Very clear in this? So we'll just write a note on this one. When production by one entity affects others, it is called as negative production externalities. Please write down the example in your own words, students, the one which I had shared with you. Done, friends? Yes, Charan, it can happen. Please write down the example, students. Don't leave that space. It's very important so that when you revise, you will be able to recollect the examples which we have shared in the class. Next one, positive production externality. Yes, Ronak, it can be both the consumers as well as producers. Any individual getting affected, better, it will be negative externality. Huh? Now, what happened, I'm running an office. In my office, let's suppose I hired few people. Now, out of that few people, I handpicked 2 or 3 employees whom I gave the complete business training. Of course, business works on trust. You have to trust few people because all the work cannot be done by yourself. You will have to have associates. You will have to delegate your work. So I trained the 3 people and I told them, see, I completely trust you. So I'm teaching you the entire business. They said, yes, sir. Then I told them, I'm willing to invest more money on you. And if you want, we can do a program from IIM. So there are few programs which are available from IIM which you can pursue after completing your chartered accountancy. So they said, yes, sir. So I paid for them and I said, you will be in 1 year bond. You cannot leave the organization before 1 year, which is quite obvious. There will be some bond or how will I invest? After 1 year, when the bond was over, they went and joined my competitors. Okay. Of course, this is part and parcel of life. They are free to do so. See, it is not marriage. Okay. It's okay. You have not cheated. You can go. Your bond is over. You are free to go. Tell me one thing. Now, don't you think the productivity or the production which I had done, the efforts which I had taken on these 3 employees will benefit my competitors? So for them, it is a positive externality or no? Understood? So when our production increases someone else's efficiency, it will be positive production externality. Please write down. When production by one entity affects others positively, it is called as positive production externalities. Yes, Rishabh, it is. Please write down the example which I have shared with you. Let me know once completed. Done, friends? Okay. Negative consumption externality. Very simple negative consumption externality we have. My consumption affects you. Correct, Shri. 100% right. It is passive smoking basically, right? Someone drinks alcohol, then they start driving. Then there is footpath, people sleeping on that footpath, and people go and do play GTA Live. Okay. I'm not naming anyone, but you know it, right? So people like this can easily shift from, car to helicopter. They can hit the helicopter with car and what not. So there are many people. We have some, great scientists who redefine physics like Salman Einstein. Okay. Well, Vishal, no, you can't name Salman Khan like this. Come on, yeah, this is wrong. Okay. There is some other person. Sells time. What? Yeah. So when when these things happen, and the worst part, I will tell you, people make these people as idol. People worship these people, yeah, right? They take photographs, autograph. For what? For killing people. What kind of inspiration we are setting? Right? Isn't it disturbing that people like these have more followers than Ratan Tata today? Correct? Leave Ratan Tata here. In our local area also there are some real life heroes whom we can worship. For their entire life, they wait for recognition. They don't get any. Right? Yes, Himanshu, I do put some stories. That taxi driver, he was hit yesterday, day before yesterday. He should have been trained by Salman Bhai. Then there would have been no problem at all. His technique was wrong. Okay, if there was someone else driving, no, that girl will be in ICU. Well, anyway, so you understood, right? What is negative consumption externality, right? So if my consumption disturbs someone else, passive smoking kind of thing, alcohol kind of thing. So alcohol consumption results into disturbance in the society. Drink and drive cases, accidents do happen. These are all negative consumption externalities. Please write down. When consumption by one entity affects others negatively, it is called as negative consumption externality. Done? And last one, students, what is, acha, you can write the example, sorry, about smokers and drinkers, about drink and drive and everything. Just write down, please. Done, friends? And last one is nothing but positive consumption externality. I got vaccinated. That is my consumption. Now, because of me taking the vaccination, can I say I will be creating a safe environment, right? Safer for the society, correct? So my consumption will affect the society positively. What say? Similarly, we have polio. If kids are given the polio doses, so that will help us in building a healthy community, a healthy country. And polio is also a communicable disease. So it will stop spreading once you have taken that dose. It is just like antidote, what we are getting in coronavirus. Similar to that, we have polio doses. So right now, how we are taking polio vaccination, in the future, it is quite likely kids will be given the coronavirus vaccination also, so that they don't get, you know, it. So our consumption affects the country positively. This is called as positive consumption externality. Understood this? If you are creating park, okay, if your organization is creating a public park, let's suppose, or let's say you are planting more trees, so society will get affected because of that, yes or no? Positively. Positive consumption externality. Understood this part? Sure. Yes, Someshwar, it does. When consumption of one person or entity affects economy positively, it is called as positive consumption externalities. Full stop. You can please write down the example in your own words here. Done? Yes, Someshwar, that's correct. Yes, Lakshay, we can consider that. Yes, Lakshay, correct. All right. So that is about externality. However, we have not completed the externality part. There is one small part which is left of positive and um, uh, what's say, the private cost, social cost part is left in case of negative externality that we will be understanding in the next lecture. That is tomorrow. Right, today this is where we stop because it is slightly bigger concept. We won't be able to do it in 5 minutes time, so we will utilize this time for your doubt solving. Okay, so that's it from my side. This is Chirag sir signing off. I'll see you again in the next lecture. Thank you so much. Bye bye, take care, god bless. If you are having any doubts, you need to wait, or else that's it, we are done for the day. Jai Hind, Jai Economics. Bye. Sir, can you repeat the example for negative production externality? Negative production externality. Yeah, I gave you the example of steel manufacturing firm. When they are creating pollution in the market, it will affect the productivity of others. When I dump wastewater in the river, it will affect the the level of consumption of water. Just 1 second, I will put an end to the meeting, then I will solve.